Has God given you special gifts for the edification of other saints? Have you misused what God placed into your hands? Are you trying to solve the problem in your own way? Are you depending on your wisdom and knowledge to have that issue fixed? Your knowledge, strength, wisdom, and capacity is limited. You could never bring it to the original by yourself. It is time to bring it to the Master. It is time to hand it over to the Creator. It is time to submit it back to the owner. You don't know how to fix something better than your Master, neither can you repair or fix something better than the maker or creator of something. You can't get the original spot or location of something better than the owner of that thing. You have tried it your way. You have struggled to make it work. You have labored to fix it, to put an end to your struggle and toils. Hand it over to God, who is the Creator, the owner, and the Master, for Him to fix it. Is your relationship on the verge of collapse? Is your home troubled with disunity? Have the doctors declared the sickness unto death? Have you been unable to secure anything tangible? Have you taken the whole issue to head, and are you struggling with sleepless nights and pain? Your worry, sleepless nights, and tears would not solve the issue. You have taken the wrong approach, and it is time to make amend and get things right. You have wasted time and energy trying to fix it your own way. It is time for a perfect fix. The mending you have been doing would not last long. It is time for the permanent fix. It is what God specializes in doing, mending the broken heart, bringing peace to the troubled, giving hope to the hopeless, and restoring life to those on the verge of giving up. You are struggling to fix it on your own, forgetting the reason and purpose why Jesus came to earth. Luke 4, verse 18 through 19. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, the Messiah, because He has anointed me to preach the good news to the poor. He has sent me to announce release, pardon, forgiveness to the captives, and recovery of sight to the blind, to set free those who are oppressed, downtrodden, bruised, crushed by tragedy, to proclaim the favorable year of the Lord, the day when salvation and the favor of God abound greatly. He has come with good news. He came to release the captive. He came to mend and help you recover that which was lost and you haven't been able to move on. He came for the fixing. You haven't seen the power of His might fixing your troubles or challenge because you haven't done what He asked you to do. Matthew 11, verse 28 through 30. Come to me, all who are weary and heavily burdened by religious rituals that provide no peace, and I will give you rest, refreshing your souls with salvation. 29. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, following me as my disciple. For I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest, renewal, blessed quiet for your souls. 30. For my yoke is easy to bear and my burden is light. Have you gone to Him? Have you taken that issue to God? Have you permitted Him to fix it? Have you handed it over to the Almighty and allowed Him to fix those challenges, to deal with the sickness, to bring peace to your home, to give you the perfect job, to bring you up to your feet again? You have not obeyed the command He gave, and that is why you haven't seen the perfect fix to that problem. Elijah was in a state of fear. the queen Jezebel was killing the prophets of God and recruiting Baal prophets. He thought the best way to be safe was to run, and Obadiah, a servant, had also hidden the remaining prophets and was feeding them daily. When he was tired and told God his travail, God decided to fix it his way by empowering Elijah to confront the prophets of Baal, and they were killed all in one day. Obadiah, who was also hiding God's prophet, was able to release them to go their way. When you involve God, He gives you a solution that would save you the stress and the pain of doing it your way. Moses and the people of Israel, at a point in their journey from Egypt, were filled with worry and fear. The Egyptians were chasing them from behind, and the Red Sea was in their front. They trembled and felt it was going to be their end. But then God told Moses, "Why are you disturbed? Why are your people afraid? Step forward and lift your rod over the sea." And by the time Moses obeyed and did as he was commanded, the Red Sea parted to two, and they were able to walk through the sea as land. But when the Egyptians saw this, they tried to follow suit, but God drowned them in the sea. Whatever is not giving you peace is because you haven't involved the master fixer, the master planner, and the master arranger. Involve him in the matter. Table the issue or challenge to him. The time you spent trying it your way or crying over it would have been more useful if you had channeled it to prayer. Table it to him, and he would fix it up. He is a God that fixes things. When he made man and put him in the garden to work, he reasoned that man would be lonely, and he set in to fix that loneliness by putting the man to sleep, and took some of the rib from the man and created woman. What a perfect God that can fix things perfectly. When Adam woke up and saw the woman, he was filled with joy, and it wasn't covered. She was born of his bone and flesh. Remember when the Israelites left Egypt? At every point where it looked like the worst was about to happen, he set in to fix things up. He made a way through the Jordan, flattened Jericho's wall, and they never had to worry about their clothes or sandals, because God suspended nature and made sure their clothes didn't get small on them or tear, and also their sandals. They all kept growing with them as they grew. What a wonderful fixer. Hannah in the Bible found herself in a similar state. She was worried, troubled, and dwelled in a state of sorrow. Nothing seemed to change until the time she handed over the matter to the great fixer, and things changed for her for good. She was comforted and given someone better than all the ones her co-wife had altogether. God fixed it at the due time, and she was filled with joy. The disciples of Jesus were in a life-threatening situation. They were traveling, and the wind was much. It was looking like their boat would sink. They tried all they could do. They were terrified and afraid. Nothing seems to be able to control the wind, but when they remembered that Mr. Fixer was in the boat with them and was sound asleep, they decided to wake him up. They did. Jesus got up and calmed the wind, and they marveled. They must have said to themselves, "Why didn't we call on him since? We have suffered ourselves when Mr. Fixer is here." Peter and his fellow fishermen were stranded. They had toiled all night but were not able to make a catch. But when Mr. Fix showed up, the situation changed. The situation is not for you to worry or trouble yourself about. It is time to hand it over to God and watch Him fix things. He has assured us to cast our cares, our troubles, and our burdens to Him, and He would attend to them. Why don't you take that step today and see as everything turns for good?